Hey guys, James here today and welcome back to another Sims 4 house building video. Today we're actually completing a house that I started in a previous video, which was a 10-minute, 1-second build challenge just a few days ago. So if you do want to see the beginning of this build, you can go watch that video. I'll link it on screen and in the description down below. That was just a real-time build where I had 10 minutes from start to finish. Obviously, I did not finish it in that time. I didn't even do any furnishing and the layout was all wrong. So I sat down today, spent a little bit more time, finished it off, and gave it a little bit more finesse, and gave it a more like polished look, if you will. Something that's actually livable, looks nice, and doesn't look like it was built in 10 minutes. So that's what we're doing right now. So I think this only took me about an hour to do to sort of finish this off because it's a fairly small build. I did expand it and change it around quite a bit. I changed like a lot of the exterior, I changed elements of it. The basic principle of it, like the elevated 2-story home, is still there, but I've changed a lot of it around, such as in the 10-minute build video, the windows at the back really just were not working for me and the layout was all wrong. So that's what I'm going around fixing now. And you see that I actually put some windows along the floor and left the wall above it blank, and I put these sort of ivy wall coverings on it because I thought that was kind of cool. And that actually led itself to the final, I guess, the final design element for this build, which I guess you can tell by the title and probably by the thumbnail. It's called the Flower Tower. So it's very, very green, lots of flowers. It's almost overgrown in a way at the base of the house. And then as you move up, it's sort of just these big green walls everywhere. And I think it looks really cool in the end. So yeah, I was quite happy with it. So for the kitchen, I decided to do a galley-styled kitchen. It took me a while to get the layout of this working how I wanted it because I wasn't quite sure. Like, as you can see, we don't have a lot of room right here. It's very small, but we do have those two nooks and crannies on the left and the right of the stairs where we can put the fridge and the sink. And you may have noticed that I actually moved the stairs around so that we had the stairs stacking each other instead of on opposite sides of the house, because that gives us more floor space to play around with. And if we keep the stairs on top of one another, they only take up those 3 squares on that one side. So that was quite good. So here I was trying to play around with different spaces and sort of segmenting it, trying to have like a living area and a dining area, but it just really was not working out at all. Like I'm trying to use all these different, I guess the issue was I just wasn't feeling inspired by like the items that I was putting down, the layout, the way it wasn't working. And I tried. I really, really tried to make it look how I wanted it to, but the space was just too small to do what I wanted. And it didn't flow. Like that's how I wanted to do it. I wanted to have a dining table there as like an island counter kind of thing, and then have a living room behind it. So you still have a dining table, but it kind of acts as like an additional counter and all that. But then in the end, I was just like, you know what? There's just not enough room. So I decided to actually expand it by 2 tiles on that side of the house. So the lower level now is slightly bigger than the upstairs, but I think it still works out quite well. It creates a really nice space. So in the end, we do go for the galley kitchen still, where we actually put a wall there. And that's pretty much how the kitchen ends up, with a stove in the middle, fridge on the left, and the sink on the right. There is a bin. I do add a bin in later, so don't worry. And then we have the lounge room in here, which is basically just a lounge room. There's no dining table in the end at all because there just wasn't enough room. And you don't really need a dining table in The Sims anyway. You can get away with just having a sofa. I mean, they can stand up and eat. They can sit on the sofa and eat. So I was like, you know what? It doesn't really matter. But I am using a few items and wallpapers from the new fitness stuff pack because I actually really like the new concrete wave texture looking wall. So I use that as the exterior as one of the exterior patterns, and I'm also bringing it on the inside to give it a little bit more oomph. And I guess just tying in the exterior to the interior with that concrete wall and using that gray as a nice base for some colors, because I wanted the inside to be colorful, but you generally have to have a pretty lenient base to work with. And so using the grays and the white on the wall let us sort of play around with colors in the items and the furniture and all that. Now I use that new sort of side table from Fitness Stuff back there as well, but I was like, you know what? I kind of want a little bit more. And you'll see, I sort of layer 2 side tables together to make it look a little bit more useful, because it is such a small space. You generally want to get as much storage in as you could in this space. So I was like, okay, well, if we chuck in another side table underneath the TV, then there's more space. Anyway, that's what I thought. Anyway, bringing some nice color in from that painting there. I thought that green and those greens and the blues went really nice with like the orange and the gray from like the sofa and that. So we get all this, just a little little pop of color just like that. So there, yeah, there's that side table I was talking about, just layering it in there. And I think it actually fit in quite well. And yeah, it just gave us a little bit more storage that we could play around with and make it look like the space is a little bit more usable. And I haven't used this little light in a while, actually, that sort of industrial looking light. But I thought that was a perfect place to put it. And I really like the way this living room turned out with this sofa and then the armchair on the side there, that mirrored coffee or side table thing. I don't know. I think it just photographs really well. The items all sort of flow together quite nicely. The color, like the base color is fairly muted, but then you get this huge pop of color from the wall art and all that. And I just think it works really, really well. You know, I think I've said that a few times, but I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, so the fridge is up there next to the stairs, which I thought, because we had those two 1x1 areas on the left and the right of the stairs, and I was like, that's a perfect place to like put, you know, part of the kitchen. So it means we can still have plenty of hallway space for walking around, but then also have the kitchen right there in the middle. And we got those new little rock lights from Fitness Stuff Pack as well. Like I said, quite a few things from Fitness Stuff Pack here if you did just pick up the pack. That rug is also from it as well. So quite a few new things that we're playing around with there, getting some cabinets there as well, because again, storage-wise, it makes sense to get as much storage in as we possibly can. I believe, yeah, the stove and the fridge are from the Parenthood game pack, if I'm not mistaken. I was originally, I think you might have seen, originally I was going for a much more colorful stove, but then I thought it didn't really fit in, and I'd rather bring in color through decor, like, you know, the paintings and the furniture, rather than the, I guess, core appliances and that, if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't, but that's what I thought anyway. Upstairs. So in the end, we could really only fit in one bedroom here. It would have been nice to have two bedrooms. I guess you probably could have if we sacrificed some stuff. But we got in a nice, fully functional double bedroom and a ensuite bathroom to go with it. So it actually becomes a very usable space in the end. And I've just swapped out those windows so that they're single tile windows, so we can put a wall there just going across, so we can have like a little hallway. It's kind of weird because we end up with this double hallway where we have the landing at the top of the stairs and then a hallway for the bedroom. But we kind of had to do that because there was nowhere else we could put the bathroom. And just with the layout, it's just the way it had to go. So that's just the way it went. I was trying to figure out if we could fit in this walk-in wardrobe. And I was like, because they walk into the right-hand side of it. So I was like, okay, maybe if we like put it there so you only have one wall access to it, cover up the outside of it with that little log wall art, and then he would still be able to use it, right? And then in the end, it just didn't work. It wasn't usable. The other place I thought I could put it is in the bathroom and have it stick outside of the house, which I was like, that's fine. It looks all right. We could disguise it. But then the layout of the bathroom with the shower and the toilet and that, it didn't really work. So in the end, I just gave up trying to get the walk-in robe to fit. It just wasn't going to happen. Instead, we used a regular dresser that you'll see we put in a little bit later. Now, this bathroom, I like the color scheme of this bathroom. You have these sort of dark terracotta tiles and then white brick tiles on the walls, and then we have this like brown scheme going through all of the not appliances, all of the, I don't know, fixtures. There you go. All the fixtures had that sort of brown and black color scheme, which I thought actually looked kind of nice, and also the towels as well, like a little brown towel. I don't know. I really like the color scheme of the bathroom. It seems simple. Got a little bit of green in there as well with that hanging plant on the wall. And then the bedroom, going for a charcoal bed, blue sheets, you know. I'm trying. You guys say a lot of the time my color schemes are fairly bland and maybe a bit colorless. So I'm trying to get some new colors in here and there. Trying to get some pops. And also that's why outside as well, I did a lot of flowers, which you'll see in a little bit. Because I was like, the outside, it looks okay, but I feel like we could do it up a little bit more. So that's why I went for all the flowers. And that's how the name Flower Tower came about, because it just lent itself so perfectly to the style of the build. And just looking for little side tables here. These little, I think those are from Get to Work. Were actually, like, those little tables are perfect for that space. They fit in so nicely next to the bed. Gave us a little extra place to put some detailing. And you can see we just shoved in the dresser around the corner there. Up the top of the stairs, I was like, there's not much we can put there. Like a chair wouldn't really make much sense. So I thought, do a little table and a bright orange pot plant just there to really, I don't know, just give it a bit of pizzazz, a bit of penny pizzazz to make the place look a little bit nicer. I also thought the orange made sense because we have the orange outside as the color scheme. Now, the house kind of looks weird because we did that little pop-out section. So this is where I was like trying to play around, trying to make it look less derpy, I guess, because it really does look quite... it looks like a bit of a derp at the moment. So that's why I was like, yeah, let's play around with this. And this is kind of where I came up with the idea of making it much more green, much more, Mother Nature-y, if you will. Get all the hedges and the flowers and the vines all over the place just to make it, just to blend it in. Because putting those large trees around the side of it looked kind of dumb by itself. And then I was like, okay, well, if we keep adding more greenery here and there, then we can probably make it blend in a little bit nicer, even extending all the way down to the ground floor, as you can see with some of these little ivy walls. So it goes all the way down. It's kind of like a nice big green curtain, you know, hanging all the way down to the ground, which I thought was pretty cool. And then just getting some shrubs in there underneath the suspended part of the house to also just kind of blend it all in was the idea, to make it not look as derpy as it was. And I think it worked. I think it looks really cool in the end. And here's where we start getting all the flowers coming in now to make it look really like it's kind of almost overgrown, like the building is trying to escape the flowers and the greenery. Like maybe, I don't know, like it looks pretty cool. So we're getting all these flowers trying to creep up the side of the building there. And then we just get a little bit of an outdoor setting as well underneath. And I did put a bin as well. As you can see, I just put it to the left of the front door, which I thought was a nice little place to put it. I wanted to do a nice water feature down the bottom, but the fountain tool didn't work for whatever reason. So didn't use the fountain in the end, but we used the water wall from the Spa Day game pack, which I thought looked quite nice anyway. As you can see, just putting it in there, making it a nice dark color to match in with the wall. And I really, really wanted to use that little, that new plant from the fitness stuff pack with the circle and the ivy draped over the top of it. As you can see, I sort of put it in, but it doesn't really fit in. And in the end, I didn't end up using it, but it's one of my favorite items from this fitness stuff pack. You can see I was trying to put two of them in there and I was like, it doesn't make sense. Why would that be there? It looked weird, so I got rid of it in the end. But there you go, got a nice little seating area underneath. And here are the screenshots. So like I said, quick little build, not too big, but that is it. That's the flower tower. You can see we've got lots of greenery there. The derpy bit on the right-hand side doesn't look as derpy anymore. It's kind of like blended in and kind of hidden away. You know, it's like a little bit of a hidden gem. I actually really like the back of this house with those windows there, like the and all the ivy just growing over everything. I think it looks kind of cool. I like it. I like the sort of floor windows in the bathroom. And there's a little underneath seating area underneath. I don't know. It's like a little court, not courtyard. It's like I guess it is kind of like a courtyard. Anyway, here's the kitchen area. I guess this is kind of grey, but you got the fruit bowl there. Oh, you got those like pastel. Yeah, there you go. There's the color on there. Those little pastel pictures on that wall there to give it a bit of pizzazz. I really like the living room. I think this is the best room in the build, I reckon. I think it looks really nice. Maybe it's just me. You can disagree. You can also renovate it if you wish and make it your own and make it look cooler. Here's just another angle looking the other way that's the kitchen on the other side of the wall there. Here's the stairs. There's that orange pot plant, as I told you about just earlier. And of course, you can download this on The Sims 4 Gallery if you just search for hashtag The Sims Supply or my origin ID, which is The Sims Supply. Same as my name here on YouTube, just no spaces. Or you can search Flower Tower, and that's what this is called, and you should find it that way as well. But yeah, here are the floor plan screenshots, so you can sort of see how it all fits together. There's a middle floor. It's pretty small, but it's got enough room to entertain. Maybe have a little party. Probably not. You could probably have like 2 friends over. You don't want to overdo it too much. But anyway, that's the build. If you want to check out some more builds, you can click on screen now to go to the playlist. You can subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can go to my website and check out what computer I use, because people always ask what like specs I have. Click on my face. That's where that goes. And then, or just check out the other video on screen right now. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time, and have an awesome day.